So tonight, just like the first Monday of every month, we just kind of want to talk about our goals. We want to reflect back on where we are, where we ended May, where we see ourselves going. And there's so many different things to factor in, right? So I know sometimes we have seasons of life that we are kind of in momentum, we are pushing towards something in our business. There are other months that we are not necessarily pushing toward any certain goal, right? Sometimes we're trying to maintain, hey, Tanisha. So it's different. And I know for me personally, in April, I made an intentional decision to not try to hit any goals or grow really my business at all. I made it clear to my upline, and it's just kind of based on, we had a very, very, very busy, it's our busiest month of the year. And so I was kind of looking to just maybe maintain. And then in May, our end of school year down here and lots of stuff that we had going on, I wound up going for a goal. I had two goals in mind. I let Chelsea know, and I wanted to show you guys what I did, because I think that if you have a goal in mind, it's really, really important to do this, because you guys know it's really easy to be like, okay, I want to go senior gold, or I want to go, ruby, or I want to go gold. And we say it, but like the problem is or I'm going to focus on developing silvers, whatever it might be. The problem is that when you say that to yourself, but then you don't actually take yourself seriously, you don't map out, that goal, you don't strategize, you don't break down, you don't know what actions you need to take, and then you don't take those actions. What happens is a really dangerous thing, which is that you start to not only doubt yourself, but you have this just deep self-belief. You don't trust yourself. Because you're saying, it's like, I'm going to start working out. And if you say that every Monday, and I'm going to start eating healthy, you keep saying it, it's almost worse than if you just didn't say it at all. Right. So because it dings your confidence in your ability to believe that you actually can do that thing. And so I think that there's so much power in breaking down a goal. And listen to, for those of us, I think we're all Christians. This is not, I'm learning something that's like, okay, me or God. It's both. Like, it's God is going to do his part, but our job is to control what's ours to control and to do our part, right? The farmer doesn't just pray and say, God, please give me a bountiful harvest this year. He's going to go out and he's going to spread all of the seeds. He's going to till the land. He's going to water. He's going to do everything that he needs to do. But he knows that ultimately the result of that is in God's hands. So what I think is important with goals is that we set them, we work hard toward them, but we release the results. And you guys have heard me say this so many times, and I know it's easier said than done, but if we could just stop focusing so much on the outcome and focus more on the actions, you will get there every time. It just may not be the exact month that you want. So we're not even really going to talk about our goals so much for this month. I would like to shift our focus more to our July goals. Could you have a goal this month? Should you have a goal in mind for this month? I think you should. But I know some of you are going for some bigger goals right now that require a big point jump in growth. And when we factor in the season of life you're in, I'm sure, hopefully Jill doesn't mind me using her as an example, but Jill and I were talking about her road mapping out going Ruby. And the thing is that Jill's passing a kidney stone right now. Like, right. She's dealing with kind of a major health issue, and it's her kid's last month of school. And there's so much stuff that's going on that it's like, is this a wise decision to set this goal this month? Right. And I am not the kind of upline that's just going to be like, you should do this and you should do this. Right. Tanisha back in December was going to go for senior gold, and she was right there. It was totally possible for her. But her and I had to have a heart to heart where I just kind of released her. Hey, Tanisha, I know that you can do this, and I know that you will do this, but I don't know that this is the right time for you. And I think you should. And she just like literally cried and hugged me in the parking lot, because she just needed to be released and to be given that permission that just because you can, it doesn't mean you should. It wasn't a best yes for her family that month. And that's the kind of upline that I always want to be for you guys, because this is not some rigid thing. This is not like, we don't want to live and hustle, right? There are seasons of hustle. And I will tell you that I hopped off of a call with my RSM, Jake, today. Once you get to Emerald, they assign you like a regional manager and you work with that person. I haven't talked to him in like a year almost. And he really told me about what's on the line for our family and our business and our team this year. And I really needed to hear it, because I don't want this call to be about me. I want to talk about you guys and mindset. And I've got some content here prepared to share with you. But I think sometimes relating is just helpful. And I just wanted you guys to know that I have been for 2 months, just in case any of you have been feeling this way. I want you to know that a lot of times people look at people in the top of the company like me and they think, oh, like she's just always momentum and she's always crushing it and she's just hitting every goal. Because it's just not true. And for, like I said, for the month of April, I made an intentional decision not to try to do anything. But in my mind, I figured we'd probably be pushing for Sapphire by May, possibly even April. Well, no, sorry, not in April, by May, and if not May, June. And that's not going to happen. I know what Sapphire is going to require of me, and I was not willing to do it in May. But I will tell you what I did that was well that I want you guys to do, and I hope we can do tonight on the call. And I hope I have it here. We decided to turn my office into a room for friends to stay with us this weekend. And then we ended up getting rid of my desk and everything completely. And I have been working all over the place. So my paperwork is everywhere. And I do see my June roadmap and I do see my May. But what I did that I don't know where it is once I did this, so we talked about how I wanted you guys to print this, or if you don't have a printer or it doesn't work, just write these things down on a piece of paper or in your journal. And if you don't know what this is, it's in our team page. Patty's got hers. It's like a monthly goal map. I know some of you have sent me your screenshots, but this is so important to take inventory of where we are. And then to be able to say, okay, so what are my goals? So like in the month of June, put June at the top. What's my goal for new level ones? And now if you haven't signed a level 1 in 2 or 3 months, then I don't think your goal should be 15, right? Maybe not even 10. Maybe your goal is I'm committing to sign 3 level 1s this month. Your goal should feel a little bit out of reach, but it shouldn't feel like it's so hard that you feel like you're setting yourself up for failure, right? So it should be a stretch or a push. So if you don't know what your goal should be, like, and you're just like, I don't, then message me. I'm happy to help you with that, or whoever your upline is. And then breaking down a team point goal. And again, sometimes the way to figure out your goals is what do you need this business to do for you? Our business revolves around us helping people and serving people. It does. And that's an awesome job to have. But it's okay to think about what you need this to do for you. I'm sure Rebecca has been in the midst of interviewing and flying all over and getting positions, and she's having to weigh cost of living, the salary of this position. Is this going to be worth it for her family? No one would tell her that she's selfish for doing that, right? We would say that's so wise. But we do this to ourselves when we're goal setting. I think especially as Christians is that, and I'm mostly speaking to myself tonight because I have been struggling, just full transparency. I think it's important that you guys know what my goals are and where I'm heading. And I haven't really shared that. Sometimes I get self-conscious that like, it's just unrelatable, right? For you guys. And then I feel bad about that. I spent 4.5 years building a business where it was hard to sign 3-5 people a month. So I get that. That's where I was. It's where my start was. That felt like my everyday. And it's not now, but I do think it's important that I've had an area of weakness of not vision casting for our team. And it's something that I want to work on because for me, the last couple of months, I realized that I got really stagnant in my business because I felt like wanting more was selfish. And I've said this to Brooke Hemingway, and I've said this to a couple of people that I just feel like Elmworld is already so much. It's done so much for our family. Who am I to want more? That's selfish. And I hope that this speaks to somebody tonight, that what God literally put on my heart today, and maybe to share with you guys, is that is actually one of the most selfish things I can do. Because if I do that, then it's like, it's all about me. Whereas, so it's the opposite of what I thought. Like I was thinking, oh, well, if I try to want more or go for more, that's selfish. And what he was saying is, no, if you're like, oh, this is just all about what it could do for me, like Emerald is good enough, that's you just saying it was really just all about you. Now your family's in a good spot, you're comfortable, that's all you needed it to do. And that's actually super selfish, because there's a bunch of people on my team and there's a bunch of people that have not joined us yet that need this, that are up late right now, stressed and can't sleep because they can't even pay for the rising cost of groceries and gas. There are so many people that are drowning in debt, and it's getting worse right now because of inflation, and they need this. And if I sit back and get complacent because it's just enough for me, then that again means that it was just all about me. And that's not why I ever started this. You guys know my story, and I only started to be obedient to God, and he's done a lot with that, but it's been about other people. Why I show up when I post what I don't want to is for what it can do for other people. So I want you guys to remember that it isn't selfish to have goals. And to think like, some of you, maybe you would love to go part-time. Maybe it's just that you have an amount that you would like to put toward debt every month. Maybe it's that you could get rid of your husband working that third job so he can only work two, or maybe he can only work one. Maybe you dream of having a vacation home for your family. And knowing all of you women, I bet that you wouldn't even use a vacation home just for yourselves. You would be opening it up to friends and family and probably people in need that it could refresh. They're not bad things, and it's okay to want them. And so I can help you attach a rank, point, all of that stuff to those things if you need. That's part of what I'm here to help you do. But I do think it's important that you have kind of a vision of what you want this to do for you. And if you don't have a goal right now, and I'm just gonna be honest, like I had a loose one in mind the last couple of months, but like I didn't have a goal in April, and I did make one in May, and then I dismantled it halfway through the month. What I did do is when I filled out this goal map for May, I put down that my team point goal was to get my husband to Emerald, which is 1,500 points, and he was sitting at about 1,200 points. And then my goal for myself was to get to about 2,650. So to grow by about 300 points so that Sapphire would be within range the following month in June. But I wrote down who I could develop to Silver, and I never reached out to one of those people. I wrote down who I could help re-rank. And honestly, it's a wonder that Rebecca even went gold. She was our only rank up on the whole team. And I have a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 names that I wanted to help rank or re-rank. I literally only messaged Katie on the last day of the month because Chelsea caught how close she was to a re-rank, and I didn't see it. Just being totally honest with you guys, okay? Because I think this is important that you don't think that people like me are just doing it all, like at all. And you guys know I value honesty and transparency. And Rebecca, I had mentioned to her goal before. She's been super close, and like I knew, but I just knew she had a lot going on this month, and I didn't want her to feel pushed. But I should have on that last day of the month, like, did you know you're literally one order away? Like, and honestly, I didn't. And it's amazing that she ranked up, and that is totally just kudos to her and not me at all. But then I looked at the actions it would require of me. And the first thing I wrote down is very intentional, focused work blocks. And I didn't do that. Not once. I knew in the last month of school and with everything on my plate in May that I would have to be very intentional. I wasn't working off of a checklist. I felt flustered when I sat down to work. Like, what do I do? Where do I start? I literally almost didn't post the entire month because I don't have time for that. I started telling myself, I don't have time. I don't have time. And then what I find is that becomes like exactly how I show up. Somebody who feels flustered, who feels like she doesn't have time, she doesn't know where to start. And I just didn't do anything. If anybody feels like this is resonating with you or you've been there last month, please drop something in the comments. Hopefully I'm not wasting your time because I don't want to make this about me. I'm just hoping that something in here will speak to you guys. Guys, I put that I was going to sign like 30 VIPs under my husband to help him get to that goal. And what I did do well that I want you guys to do with your goal when we get there, I made a sheet and I can't find it, but I screenshotted it and I sent it to Chelsea. So she knew how I was tracking toward the goal. I told her my goal because it's really important. I told her what my plan was, and I wrote down 15 circles. I knew exactly how many people that the team all underneath Sean would need to sign and how many people I would, and I was taking the brunt of it myself. So I put 30 under me, and guys, I signed 15 people under Sean by like halfway through the month. I was tracking to reach that goal. And here's the thing, be honest. Do you guys know if you're tracking to meet your goal? Because so many of the times we don't even write it down. Or if we do write it down, it's somewhere buried in some paper and we haven't looked at it. We don't even hardly remember what it is. And we don't even know if we are taking the right actions to get there. And then we don't even know, like, am I halfway there, right? If you wanted to lose 4 pounds this month, and then you get on the scale the last week of the month, then you are, or the first week and you've already lost a pound, you're a quarter of the way through the month and you're a quarter of the way to your goal, right? You know that you're tracking to hit that goal. It's really important. And so I was tracking to hit my goal. And then I told Chelsea, I'm like, you know what, Chelsea, I'm looking at all these different factors and this is not a best yes. There's too many people that are under Sean that are not in momentum right now. And this needs to be a team thing. It needs to be a collective thing. And I didn't share my vision with my team. I didn't let them know what I was going for. And it's a team thing. And I was like, it's the last month of school. I'm trying to focus on relationships and family and just being more present, just face to face. And I was like, it's not going to fit in this month. And I don't feel a rush. Like sometimes we attach a timestamp and that's great, but sometimes we need to adjust that timestamp, right? And I don't want to say that I'm necessarily proud of that. I've been dealing with a lot of mindset stuff, and I've been in a 6-week coaching program that has exposed a lot of weaknesses, and I've done a lot of crying, a lot of journaling, a lot of prayer, a lot of heart. This is probably the hardest stride I've hit in my business the last couple of months, because the next level is going to require a new level of Kim, right? Like, I'm going to have to grow and change to reach Sapphire. And right now I've just been leaning into the growing pains and trying to focus on renewing my mind to believe that I'm actually someone who can create the changes, that God can create the changes in me that need to come out. And so I just want you to know, after I saw a post from Kyle Rainey today, you guys know that he is a top. I want to read this to you if you haven't seen it. He is a diamond in the company. His wife, Cassie, is a diamond in the company. And I read this to my husband today, and I actually reached out to Kyle immediately. And I'm so thankful. He sent some really great voice clips back about what this business requires, and just kind of how, I think we're getting into a culture now, like an anti-hustle culture, where it's almost like people think that it's like bad to work hard. And I've kind of fallen into, like, I believe in rest, and I think that's important. But I also, again, know that there are times that, like, I know Jill has been really upfront too, like, we need this, we need what this can do. Like, there's nothing wrong with pushing and being in a season of hard work or hustle momentum. Your family may really need that from you right now. And that may be what God is calling you. And dare I say that if you do not do that, it may be disobedience. And that's where I kind of think I've been just really recently. So this post says, as a Christian, it is not a bad thing to hustle in your work. It doesn't mean that you doubt God will provide. It means you believe you want to partner with God to thrive. You want to make the most impact with God's provision. Cassie and I call it our holy unrest. We have accomplished some goals, but we have so many more we want to achieve. We are satisfied, but we are not stagnant. And guys, that really spoke to me for the reasons that I just shared with you. I'm like, I'm satisfied, but that doesn't mean I should be stagnant. We are at peace, but we still have purpose. We wake up every day with a holy unrest that will not be quenched until our last breath here on this side of heaven. We have a holy unrest that there are still so many people to pour value into, so many more people to love, so many more people to introduce Jesus to, and so many more people who need hope. So we will hustle. We will not rest. We will work hard, and we will work well. God has placed within you a passion and paired that passion with certain gifts. You were not designed for the mundane, but for the miraculous. You were designed to use those gifts, lean into that passion for the good of others and the glory of God. It's time to hustle, time to fuel your holy unrest, where someone out there is waiting for you to show up. And I literally have full body chills as I read that to you, and I could burst into tears because I needed that in the depths of my soul tonight. And I don't find it any coincidence that I saw that post, and I reached out to him right before my RSM messaged me, and he's like, Kim, you are tracking to be a diamond this year. And he's like, you're number 11 in the company this entire year so far. And he's like, it's right there. And he's like, talk to me. And I just told him, I'm like, I have this fear that I'm going to be this not present mom, and that, like, I can't do that level of the business and still be a good mom, because the truth is I've labeled myself as a stay-at-home mom my whole life so far, because that's what I've been for 9 years. And I'm not a stay-at-home mom anymore. I'm a work from home mom. And I need to give myself permission to show up as a work from home mom, because it's not fair. It's like believers and non-believers. And I think I read you guys that scripture. Our pastor was saying how it's like, it's so much worse to try to have like one foot in the church as a believer and one foot in the world, because you aren't fully free to just better to just be in the world and of the world and just live your life the best that you can, party it up, YOLO until hell's coming, right? Or it's better to be fully in for the kingdom of God. But when you try to have one foot, you're not fully free to embrace and enjoy either. Like, and that's where I've been with this business, like not letting myself just fully say, like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And it's not wrong. And it's not wrong to want to be on the stage with a mic. And it's not wrong to want to write a book. And Kyle is literally writing a book right now. And he's speaking on stage at convention. He speaks at all of them. I'm like, who thought Plexus would have been the vehicle? But this could literally do all those things for me. And it can for you too. And I don't think that it's bad to have holy unrest. And I don't think Kyle meant that we don't ever rest. I think pretty confident he takes Sundays off, pretty confident he's got great rhythms of rest. But those rhythms of rest allow him to work really hard and purposefully. So I hope that spoke to you. I wanted to share that with you guys. And I think it's kind of a great lead in to setting some goals, don't you? So I know some of your goals, some of you guys have already sent me the sheet, but before we just we can all unmute and kind of talk or break them down. I did take some notes on a call from Brooke Hemingway that I wanted to share with you guys. I was listening to about goals. She actually posted it this very same month back in June. And she kind of was asking, and some of the things I added my own self, but basically like, if you don't have a goal right now, why? Because if you aim at nothing, you hit it every time. Right? So it's comfortable, it's safe, it's easy. Like if you don't have anything that you're shooting for, then you don't have to feel like you're failing. Except, in my opinion, when I'm not shooting at anything and I'm not going for anything, I kind of feel like I'm always failing. Like, because I'm not, right? I'm seeing some head nods. So it may seem safer, but I just don't think it's worth the cost. And that's no way to live. It doesn't glorify God. It doesn't help other people. And if you need any conviction about that, go read the parable of the talents, right? And what Jesus has to say about someone who held back in fear and how he was called a wicked and lazy servant. Those are some strong words from Jesus, like strong words, right? For just being like, well, I was unafraid what would happen, or I was unafraid how this person would take that invite. I was afraid that to develop a silver, or to ask her if I can make a post for her, or to whatever it may be. And so like, I just didn't do it. Here, God, like, I just didn't want to like mess it up. And I feel like we think that's okay. And what if it's not? What if it's wicked? And what if it's lazy? Because it's about other people. How are we stewarding what he's given us, the people he has placed underneath you? And some of us, and I know this was me for a very long time, are guilty of asking God for more and being frustrated with him that we don't have more people on our team, or more people reaching out, or more people commenting on our posts, but we aren't even doing the best we can to be faithful with the people that we have. So the number one thing we're going to look forward of what goals are we going to set for June and for July is we need to be clear on the goal. So this is not, I want to get to senior Ruby. Like, okay, I will be a senior Ruby ambassador by when? And we need a date. Now that doesn't mean that it's going to happen by that date, but you need to have that measurable, like a time sensitive goal. It can be a re-rank goal. It can be achieving a consistency bonus or a re-rank bonus. It can be ranking up. It can be a point. Like, for example, Jill has a big goal, but we broke that down. I think like to getting like halfway to that goal this month, because it's more practical for the season of life that she's in, so that she is set up for success to finish that and rank up next month. And we talked about that. Like, does that feel good for you? Is that comfortable? Is that enough of a push, but not too much that it's going to stress you out? Like stuff like that. You got to be clear on it. And again, but before we can be clear on that, you need to know where you are now. So you need to open up your back office. And if you guys don't know, you can change that little tab to May. Okay. So if you go, when you log in and you click on like the points, you go into your points up at the top, it lets you change that. And so you can change the month to May, and you can see how many enrollments did you have? What was your total points? And you can look at those things, and then you can kind of say, okay, let's say you were at 97 points last month. Shooting for gold, if you've never gone gold, or if you want to re-rank gold, that's great. But here's the truth. Is it going to be hard for you to grow 3 points in a whole month? It is not. So I would not encourage someone at 97 points on June 1st to be going just to gold this month at all, right? Because that's so playing it small. But it could be something like maybe that person only developed 1 silver ever. And so we're like, okay, your personal point goal is this. Maybe they've been growing by 20 points a month. And so we're like, hey, let's push that to growing by like 40 or 50 points this month. Let's push that goal to like 147. And let's focus on an activity to get you there is developing like 2 silvers or 3 silvers, right? Like that's an activity. Well, I guess that's not the activity. That would actually be a goal. Your goal could be you want to develop 2 silvers this month or 3. Now, is it up to us and in our control if there's somebody that actually signs 3 people up? Not necessarily. What is in our control is how many people that we are shouting out on our page. If you didn't see, Patty just did this today. Jill just did this with like Erica a couple of days ago, shouting out someone for starting their journey, shouting out someone who's getting results. I'm about to do it tonight. I was trying to do it before the call and I didn't get to it. Someone that's been on the products 3 months and she has these incredible results. And honestly, guys, like I'm not even asking for permission, because like
I used to, and you can do your own thing. Patty's like, and not doing it. This is my business. I don't know that when somebody in the hair salon, when their results turn out like amazing and like they take pictures and stuff, I don't know that they go and call and message that person like, hey, can we use that on our like billboard or whatever. Like I would never tell you to share somebody's personal health testimony. Like it was not for me to go on Jill's page when she started and be like, Jill struggles with yeast infections, anxiety, and like all these things, right? And be like, can't wait to see what they do for her. Like I would not do that without her permission. But what I could have done on day one is to be like, oh my goodness, I'm so excited for my friend Jill. She decided to start her healing from the inside out journey with me. And I just cannot wait to see what these products do for her. She started her journey with me after seeing what these 3 products have done for me to kick my anxiety, kick the brain fog, reduce my sugar cravings, sleep better. Like I can list out the things it's done for me and be like, I can't wait to see what it does for her. There is nobody that's going to be upset at you for doing that. Like I personally just don't feel like you need to, you're just being exciting. You're building the community. You're showing that you're an encouraging person and that you're excited for someone. And when you tag them, it's going to show up on that person's wall too. So that's an activity that you can take that's going to help get more eyes on like what this person's doing. Because typically people are not just jumping in and saying, this is what I'm starting. But then even if that doesn't get people signed up or in your inbox, couple of weeks later, when Sally or whoever is starting to feel better and has less bloating already, and then you make a like my friend so-and-so who just started these with me a couple of weeks ago, like, oh my goodness, is this Patty? She got 3 people who want more information. I was going to ask you to share from that one post she made today. And Pat, listen, but here's the deal. Patty booked a one-on-one call with me, right, Patty, a couple of weeks ago. And we talked about this stuff. She's like, I feel like I can't develop any silvers. I feel like my people are just, and I was like, okay, first we got to deal with the thought, right? Because it's a limiting belief in a thought. And I totally understand, guys, I do this too. Like, well, I haven't done that yet. So I don't know if I can, but that doesn't mean that you can't. We don't tell, I told Patty this today in a voice clip. I don't know if you listened to it yet, but I was like, we don't tell an 11-month-old, like, don't try walking because you've never done it yet and you don't know how. Like they haven't walked yet because they're simply not, like we would be like, okay, put one foot in front of the other and the actions that they take are going to get them there where they're walking. Same thing with this. So you can control the actions that you're taking of shouting people out, of tagging people in that. When you sign up a new VIP, they should already be tagged in that new, well, not already as in before they signed up, but after they sign up, going to Hope and Healing. And if it's a pinned post at the top, I just made a new welcome video. The other one was uploaded to YouTube and I don't want to have to recreate it every month. But if I'm honest, that one was very heavy on the referral program. And I just don't want people to feel like that's like a huge thing we're pushing them to do, because the video was supposed to be about helping them get the best results from their products. And while that's a part of it, I don't think it should have been 4 out of the 5 minutes. So what I did was I made a new video that's more about water. And guys, if you ever feel, I had someone today message me like, no, people don't answer me. They don't answer me. I check in on them and they're ghosting me. This has happened to me so many times, and I've heard it from a lot of girls on the team. If that is you, the new video that I have where it says new VIP welcome, pinned at the top of the Hope and Healing, and it's got a little video next to it. I literally hounded that in the first minute and a half of the video. The video was brand new. I think I made it last night or the night before. It literally says, these are my best tips for success. And the first thing that I say after read over guide 1, look at these specific posts, understand, what detox is and what it means and what you can do to help it. I talk about water. I was like, but guys, it is so important to understand that your sponsor cares about you and they are going to be checking in on you because they care for you. This is not Amazon. You didn't order a supplement. You have people that are legitimately invested, and like, this is one size fits all. There may need to be tweaks made. The way somebody might be doing one of something and somebody else needs to do 2, and your sponsor is going to help you. And so I talk about that, and I don't really know that I hounded that before. So make sure that you're tagging your new people in that. And I do mention the referral program, but it's much of a lighter mention, but I think it's good, right? Because I think they're getting a better feel for what we're all about. You guys can let me know your thoughts. Then, but that's an important touch point, guys, the referral program, everything in guide 3, there is a longer post. I saw Katie tagged somebody in it today. That's the one that we've been using for a long time, but we freshened it up and made some very short posts. And my video that was like 8 minutes that, like, I know Katie tagged somebody in. I've done that for a long time, but I don't know how many people actually watch that. because if we're honest, we're all really busy. I know Tanisha and I were talking about this last week. Like people are so busy and like they're on their phones enough. We want to be present. We don't want to be on our phone all the time. And so that's also part of why we're switching up the info session. Like there was a lot of posts and a lot of long posts, and we don't want to have to be like, did you read this yet? Did you read this? Like totally still message, add, tag, but we also want to have something brief, simple, short, to the point, which is why we're going to try these gut chats. And I think I'm going to try taking some of our content from the info page and putting it into the gut chat and just still making it what's working well for our team, but making it simple. I do have a couple new changes on, so make sure you're tagging, you can control, right? That you're tagging people and stuff about, hey, here's some information on a referral program if you're interested in how you can get your products for free. Listen, it's not up to you. You can't control if they read it or watch, right? But you can control the activity. And a lot of times we are not taking those activities and doing them and controlling what we can't control, and that matters. So we got to get clear on that goal, like I said, and then what the activities are that's going to require that you'll need to do there. So when I was mapping out, like I wrote down, this is my June one with my May, those intentional work blocks. I put help at least 3 people go silver. I put follow-ups every Friday because I've been so bad about following up with people. So I'm going to call it follow-up Friday. I put getting, doing more one-on-one mentorship and resending the link in the team page, because that really helps, like stuff like that. But again, I didn't really look at this again. I didn't have it somewhere I could see it. I didn't get really serious about it. And so I decided, like, and there was a lot of excuses, guys. And I know sometimes you probably have them too. That like, oh my gosh, it's last month of school and I haven't had a cleaner in a month and I haven't had childcare in a month. And like, but the truth is when you have less time, you need to be more focused and intentional with it. So, what did I say? It was 4. You got another message. I'm telling you guys, and Patty, I'm so glad we did that mentorship call, because it was on that call that God just dropped down this idea for me. And then I immediately had to go live and share, because I was just trying to think of how can I help Patty do something different? What's working for me to develop a silver may not be what works for her. So how can we think outside the box? And we talked about this, signing up your spouse, always asking somebody like about their husband and if they have any health issues and stuff. And I was like, what would work for Patty? And then I was like, well, maybe Tanisha, I'm so glad you got to jump on too. So anyways, but so you guys can let me know your thoughts. I don't want to just like talk at you the whole time, but I love the momentum that we're even seeing. Look at Patty's already got another message, but I love the momentum. Okay, Patty, do you want to? Yeah. And Jill said it's been a really good tool. It's already opened a lot of conversations for her as well. Yeah, just
what I was going to say. I'm sorry, Kim. What I was going to say is I made it very simple. So all I did was say, good morning. I've got my pink drink ready for the day. Do you send me a pic and I want to see your pink drink? Let's get healthy together. And then I sent that picture. Okay. So I had 3 people that were my new VIPs from last month get their products. And those are the ones I sent this to. And I got 1, 2, 3. And then I had another girl say, oh, I was trying to order some more pink drink, but I had a trouble with it. Can you help me? Then I had another one that just was before, like I had checked in with her last week. She's like, oh, hey, listen, my credit card was declined. Can you help me with that? Because I need to know, I didn't even catch that. And she said, I needed to add that in there. But I was touching base with people with that little post. That's it. Very simple. If y'all can see it.
What is that? What is can you read it to us? I can almost see it.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Okay. It says, good morning. I've got my pink drink ready. Do you? ? Show me a pic with you and your pink drink and let's get healthy together. And that's what it says.
Will you screenshot that and send it in our team chat? I love it. Okay. So you sent it to the new VIPs from May, correct? And did everybody respond with a picture? Most?
Yes.
Like, everybody did?
All 3 of them. No, actually, I've only got 1 picture, but I had 2 responses. But I took the one I had the picture from and then shouted it out. I didn't say about any of her symptoms or anything or what she, shared with me. I said, she's getting healthy with me. I forget how I worded it exactly. But I can screenshot it and put it in our chat because it really, obviously, poor people messaged me. And one girl that I had been like talking to for several months, like just asked to join Healthy from the Inside Out.
Okay.
But she didn't message me, but she just asked to join. So, I mean, maybe this is going to work for me. I really hope so. It looks like it, it already started. So, I feel stagnant. So it's like,
Well, that's exactly what I told my RSM today. I was like, Jake, I feel like I've just been stagnant in the last couple months, and it was kind of by choice. I was like, but I need something new. I'm like, we just need to make some changes. We need to switch some things up. And that's the thing is, look, you're taking a new action, you're doing something different, and it worked. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, I'm not meant to be a gold or a senior gold or a ruby, or I'm not meant to. No, you haven't taken the right action yet or found the right words or whatever.
Right.
So
Mhm.
keep going.
The post that I made said, "Cheers to my new friend Megan, getting healthy with me and hundreds of other women. Congratulations, girl. This is her day one of healthy choices and beginning of her overall health." Okay. Then I said, "If you are like me and so many, many women, you have only these, and you have any of these symptoms, girls, you need these supplements in your life." I was skeptical at first, but no more. I can't even imagine looking back before these supplements, and they weren't even in my life. I am so grateful for these 3 supplements. I said goodbye to all of these symptoms: migraine, bloating, constipation, skin. I did all that. And I said, message me for more info. And then I did the hashtags: plant-based supplements, healing from the inside out, mom on a mission, health matters, over 50 and fit, age is just a number, more energy, better sleep, weight loss journey, and mindset matters. And then all I did was put those pictures on there. I don't know if you can see them or not, but this one is just her picture here. And then I did that one. And then I did the symptoms here. So they could kind of go over the list. Hey, I got 4 hits.
It's a simple,
Maybe I can help somebody.
It's a simple thing. Like Rebecca, you just signed somebody up on like the last day of the month. So you could literally, if you didn't already, guys, it's such a simple thing to message somebody when we usually check in on day 3. And so if you don't know when they're starting, typically I ask people to let me know when day 1 is, so I know when to check in, right? So if they are like, today's day 1, then I'm like, that's so easy to send a picture of yourself with your pink drink. And you don't even have to take a new one. I'm sure you have one in your phone that you can send, right? And just be like, send me a message with your pink drink, or like cheers to your day 1. I'm so excited for you. Shoot me a pic of you with your pink drink when you get it in. And again, if they don't answer, that's fine. You can ask again the next day if you don't mind, like being like, where's my pic, girl? Like I totally would do that. Patty would do that. Rachel would do that. Like if you, so like, and even if they don't though, you can still shout them out. And definitely shouting people out when they're getting results like that. I think, I'm not going to say where we went wrong, but people are so busy, guys. They're afraid of judgment, and they are afraid, like they don't even know how to word a post. And so many times it was like pulling teeth last month to get this one girl who really needed the cost of her products covered, literally had to stop because she couldn't afford all this stuff. And like, she has a powerful story and she even wanted to share. She's even interested in the business. And I literally couldn't get her to do it. So it was like, people are busy. And like, I think that it's such an easy way to just tag them because then it's showing up on their page. I agree, Rebecca. She did a great job. And I'm like, so glad you guys just taking messy, imperfect action, just doing it, just not overthinking it, just do it and see what happens. And now look at her. She's like, woohoo, I've got 4 messages. This is awesome. Okay. So maybe that's a goal, is you're going to develop a silver this month. Maybe it's that you're going to develop 2. Maybe you have a point goal. Maybe you have a rank goal. Again, you can message me after the call and I'll get back to you tomorrow if that's something that you need help with. But kind of wrap up with this before we can break that down, is that, I do think it's important to say, and this is not because I might be your upline, but it is really important that you don't wait for your upline to stoke your fire or your downline to stoke your fire. A lot of times it's like, oh, well, my team's not in momentum right now. And I know I said that even with Sean's, like if the team isn't, but okay, then that is a excuse. It's for me to say, well, they're not doing what they need to be doing. So then I can't hit my goal. And what does that sound like to you? That's not taking extreme ownership of my business or my husband's business. What is taking extreme ownership is, okay, it's not up to me how someone else shows up for her business. If she's not signing anyone, if she's not inviting people to the page, if she's not, that stuff's not on me. But am I doing my best? Am I making it easy for them to invite? Am I sending sample invites? Am I sending a reminder? Am I showing up and saying, hey ladies, I just did my power hour, sent 50 invites. Here's the one I sent. Or, hey ladies, there are things, like I said, I wasn't checking my points as carefully as I do. I didn't even know who was on the cusp of the consistency bonus or the re-rank bonus or any of that. I'm horrible with that stuff. And I can tell myself I'm horrible and I can be like, whatever, or I can just be like, no, I need to get better at this. And this is what I'm going to do to take steps in the right direction this month. I was on a call with Brooke Hemingway today for like not getting into that summer slump where you're just like, well, I've got the kids home all summer and I can't really do anything. So like, we'll get back to it when they go back to school kind of a thing. Cause I could tell that it wasn't that, but just, I only get 18 summers with my kids, right? I really want to be present. And I keep looking at it like an either or thing instead of an and. Like you can be a successful business owner and a great mom. You can be this and this. You can have peace in your home and your business and make progress in your business. You know what I mean? Like it just doesn't need to be. And so Brooke on our call, she was talking about how these things work synergistically together. And it's not like, oh, your fitness is something that's, selfish of you to put forward. No, like your being a healthy mom helps you have a healthy family, letting them see you leading by example, role modeling health. It's stress relief for you, being more present, less anxious, longevity of life. These are things that support your family. So your health being a priority supports your family by this, like your business being a priority supports your family by what? And the truth is sometimes you got to ask yourself, like if I was, and fill in the blank for yourself, a Ruby ambassador, an Emerald ambassador, whether it's you guys need 36 grand a year, 54 grand a year, what is that? I think Ruby is 36, right? Senior Ruby's 54, Emerald is like 115. Whatever it is that you need for you to not work or cut back a job, be part-time or get out of debt or whatever. Oh, Patty's got one right there. 32. Okay. Yeah. I thought it was 34, 33-ish, 55-ish. Awesome. So would it be worth XYZ? And like Kyle Rainey asked me that today. He's like, Kim, like if you knew, and interestingly enough, apparently Diamond is a very strong possibility for our team this year. Like having someone say that to me, it's like, would it be worth one summer where I was working a lot? It doesn't mean that I'm going to do this every summer, but would it be worth it for my family to be able to live, to be able to do all the things that would mean for our family, or the teams that are under us, your guys' families, everything that would mean for everybody? Would it be worth it? Again, not to neglect my kids all summer, but to be like, hey, there's going to be these 2 nights a week that daddy does bedtime, or there's going to be this, like, whatever, would it be worth the sacrifices? And I talked to my husband about it already, and we were like, yes, like, absolutely. And so you have to ask yourself that question, is it worth it? And what are you willing to invest in your business? Because it is a business. And are you treating it that way? And so, you need to take extreme ownership for your business, for your actions. You don't need to wait for somebody else to tell you to do something. It doesn't matter what anybody beneath you is doing. You could start fresh today and have a whole new organization under you. I'm not saying just give up on people that you have, but you need it. Sometimes we get into that mode. We just want it for people. We want it to happen. And it's like, we can't make somebody under us want to do these things. Like we can take, again, ownership of our actions where we try different things. Like look at Patty's trying something different, already worked. So focusing on what you can control, what you can do. Maybe you need to watch a daily motivational video while you take a morning walk. Or you take a jog because you're someone that really struggles with motivation. And so having something go in daily is something that you need. Maybe you have so many thoughts about yourself, your business, whatever, that are so negative that you need a journal. And maybe journaling some of that stuff out and pairing that with the word of God or getting a good study is what you need. A personal development book about overcoming fear, things like that. Maybe it's meditation, maybe counseling. Because there's the thing, when we don't deal with stuff in our lives, ladies, it's going to show up in your business and it's going to show up in every area of your life. And I just literally found a new Christian counselor this week because I was like, I've been saying I'm going to do this for like 6 to 12 months. And like, I realized that there's something that's still really holding me back. That's really deep seated in my past and losing my mom. And I'm like, I do not want this to be something that's constantly coming out in all areas of my life and that in my children. I don't want to keep living in fear of this thing happening again to me, to my kids, and anything. And it's time to go have some serious conversations with somebody that can help me. So again, I've been invested in a $4,000. I know everybody can't do that, but are you investing though in your business, in your mindset, in your own growth? There's tons of free coaching out there, webinars, like I'm doing Brooks right now. And I know some of us did her time one. There's tons of great stuff out there for free to help you. And it's not to overwhelm you, but like pick one area that like, okay, me getting to this goal would require what? Me to get more organized with my time or to learn how to time block. Okay, I'm going to go find this course, or I'm going to go search this on Pinterest or on whatever, and find training videos from people in Plexus of how they structure their day, how they time block. As a working mom, maybe find who in Plexus that you look up to, that you jive with, was working. Like Kyle told me he was still in ministry and was still working at the church. I can't remember if he said full-time, I think he said part-time, when he was building his Plexus business. And he told me what that requires. And even today, he's like, ask me when I started my day, Kim, I was up at 4 a.m. He's like, in order to make this fit, to be able to run after my dreams and goals the way and everything God has for my plate, to be able to take care of my health. He's like, I was at the gym by 6 a.m. with my kids. And then we were making breakfast by 7. And that, you know, so I think that it is really, really a good thing to think about. What does it require of you? And I told my husband, this is going to require me getting up at 5 a.m. And I just asked Rachel, I didn't know, gets up every day at 5 a.m. I'm like, will you text me? Will you hold me accountable? Because it's going to require a different version of me to get to this goal and some different actions. And you just have to decide what those are. So I really believe in the value of a push, you guys, pushing toward a goal. If you never push, you will never create any incredible result. It is not a way of life. I do not want you in push mode every single month, all month. But guys, people who rise to the top in anything, in any organization, the push is what separated those people who are really committed from those who are casual and have just a hobby business. Push shows what you are made of. And to push for a goal, you have to create a plan to reach that goal, which is what our monthly goal map is, and then to execute it. We must take extreme ownership of our goal and of those actions and activities, and that accountability, right? So it's not that you shame or condemn yourself. Like, I dismantled that goal last month. I didn't really even try in April, and I really didn't shame myself for it. It was actually really freeing to be like, I'm going for nothing this month, and that's okay sometimes. But sometimes if we do that, it's easy for that to happen the next month and the next month, and where then we find ourselves in a rut, right? And so like I decided, I looked at what our team did in March, and I was like, it was freaking phenomenal. We literally had like 50 signs by the 10th of the month. Like, we just ended the month with like 64 in an entire month. We signed 50 in like a week. That, and I told Jake today, I was like, that shows me what is possible for my team. That shows me what they can do. That was not a Kim thing. I had a lot of recruits that month, but I only did like 40 of those myself. Y'all made up for 110. It was a crazy month. And we should need a remarkable tablet or an extra 10% off for us to be able to do that. See, we showed up differently. Why? There was a little something different in it for us. What was it? Then we saw somebody sign somebody up, and I was like, ooh, I want to get that too. And it kind of created a little bit of momentum, right? But we can create that for ourselves now, and we need to. So I want you guys to make a commitment and then honor it. We are not victims. Sometimes we do that, right? Like, you're so busy, and this is just so hard for me. And like, it's different for me than her. And I know Chelsea touched on that before. It's either, well, she only has 2 kids, I have 3, or well, she only whatever. And we all do this. It must be nice that she has the time for this or whatever. But we have to remember that we are creating what we want. If you have a problem, you're like, oh, well, it's summer and all my kids are home. Okay. So I don't really have time to work my business. Okay. We can dwell on the problem, or we can focus on the solution. I could hire someone 2 to 3 hours a week to come in and watch my kids, so I have some focused time to work my business, and then I don't have to feel like it's all the time. There's something that I love to do, or that I'm good, that I'm not touching. And then I can be really present and enjoy the kids when I'm not, because I know that work got done, right? You could swap. If you don't have the money for that, you could swap with a friend. I don't know any mom that wouldn't love a 2 or 3 hour break from her kids once a week. Like, you could use that to work your business, right? Or again, maybe it's that you get up earlier in the morning, like I'm going to do this summer. Maybe it's that there's just different. There are so many different options, or sometimes it can be at night. So I think that traditional businesses understand that there is a price to pay for a profit. Think about Black Friday, Memorial Day. How many of you guys got inundated with ads and all the sales, right? They might pay $500 million in advertising to make $500 billion in sales. Do you think that they are upset and mad? Do you think that they're like, gosh, I really wish I wouldn't have spent all that money and done that advertising? No, they understand that there is sacrifices to be made, and there's a price that you pay to get that kind of profit. And if you are not able to invest anything in your business, or you're unwilling to, or whatever, you just don't, you cannot expect a crazy return. So what are you investing in your business right now? And by the way, you are your business. So again, that includes your self-care, your personal growth, your mindset, but also it can be monetary. It can be like incentives, right? Nobody wants to give up that extra $10 or $20, but that's a really wise investment when you're going to make like $35 or $40 back on that order. If you kind of take 10 of it away to make it a little bit better for someone who's on that edge, like really wise investment, right? And I'm not saying that you do this for every single person, but so maybe you realize this is you right now. When I was saying like you're just not shooting at anything, you have no goals, or it's been a while, or you're not sure what your goal is. Like, have you been shooting at nothing? Has it been a long time since you did a push? Why? Do you not believe that you can do it? Are you not clear on your why or your vision? That's been me for a long time, feeling a little bit tripped up of like, I know the why for sharing the products. I can recruit really heavy because I'm really, really strong in that. But I've lacked some of the vision for sharing the business, and it's coming. It's been bubbling up because it would be so selfish. This has completely changed our lives. I should be shouting the business from the rooftops every single freaking day, quite honestly. But I was lacking the greater vision. And Kyle Rainey is someone really giving me a great tangible example of vision of what this can do. And so find that. And if you're not going to invest in your business, like you can't really expect anybody else to, right? So in the next 24 hours, I really want you to take stock. Like, who are your leaders? If you have any right now, who are your new VIPs that you could tag in a welcome post, or that maybe they've been on the products a month and they already have changes that you can make a shout out post. Even if they messaged you a week ago that they're less puffy, less bloated, lost 5 pounds and sleeping better, it's not too late for you to go make a post tomorrow or the next day, right? Who has potential, who's maybe struggling, who had a credit card decline, who's maybe going through a financial time that they need you to help. There are so many things to take stock of in your business. And then if you did not already fill out your monthly goal map, I'm going to share mine with you or with you guys. So I set a goal to sign 40 new level ones, team point goal. I had put down 1,500 to get Sean to Emerald, but I told Jake today, I'm like, I don't want to be having any pressure to rank up in a month that's convention. It's my first convention. I am just so excited to hug everybody's necks and squeeze everybody and see everybody and have fun. And I don't want to be working or on my phone really. So I was like, I just decided that I'm going to do my best to get him to like about 1,300 points this month. And that's not really like probably a big push, maybe actually 1,350, I think is what I told him today, so that I'm more primed to be able to do that next month. But it was more that I wanted to focus on the actions this month. I literally I looked at everybody's points, who's where, who's close to what. I have a very, very, very long list there of people. And I did the same thing with even my workouts, my business. I put down, what am I going to invest for my business? I put Brooke's 2-day summer slump. I did day 1 today. I'm gonna do day 2 tomorrow. I'm still in my 6-week guide culture training. I got to finish that. I put down what I'm going to do for my personal development. And I identified where the things feel stressful, like my health. We're still dealing with this parasite, Eden's health, some time blocking. I got to get organized for the summer with my schedule. And I even wrote down feeling conflicted about whether to push or not when the kids are home. And I put in parentheses, lacking why, power, and vision. Guys, I wrote this down 6 days ago. It was on the 1st. And look how God showed up. I wrote that down and what already happened. I saw Kyle's post today. I reached out to him. He sent me a couple of voice clips. The post really spoke to me about holy unrest and about pushing. And I've been praying every day and asking God, give me wisdom, help me to know. I don't want to be trying to push my business forward if that's not what you have for me right now, or if that's not the time. But I also don't want to. And then he gave me Brooke, and Brooke messaged me and she's like, let's jump on a call on Tuesday. And we're literally hopping on a Zoom. No way does this benefit her, right? I'm not on her team. She's the top 10 of the company. And she's like, let's talk about and flesh this out. This whole, what is good enough as a mom and what is good enough in your business. And she's like, let's just talk about it. Like, I'm like, well, what do I need to pay you? Because you have like a coaching for, she's like, nothing. Let's just jump on a call. This is One Plexus, guys. It's incredible. But God gave me that. And then I hopped into her summer slump and she was literally speaking directly to me about how these things are not competing. They are synergistically, they work together. Your business is part of how you provide for your family. Your health and well-being is part of your family. And like, it was just what I needed to hear. God knows what you need to hear too. He knows what's holding you back from your goals or from even setting them or whatever. So keep praying. The answer doesn't always come day 1, but then keep your eyes open. He speaks through people's posts. He speaks through team calls. He speaks through other people and so many different things. And so he'll give you what you need. And I feel like I got a lot of confirmation today about what he has for me this summer. And I'm really excited to go for it. So I want to know what you guys are excited to go for. If anybody has to hop off, I know it's late, feel free. If anybody wants to unmute and share what their goal is for this month, for next month, if you've written down, some of you have already sent me yours, which is awesome.
And if I didn't get back to you yet, I will, hopefully tomorrow, but I would love to know if anybody wants to unmute and ask me about a goal or what they could be shooting for or anything. Feel free, or we can all just jump off and get some sleep.
This call was really good, Kim. Thank you.
Good.
I'm going to watch the replay because I feel like I didn't get everything written down that I want. It was really good. I felt like you spoke directly to me. I've been in a rut, as you might say, because just, everybody's got family. Everything's got life going on. This chaos. And I just feel like I'm not, although I was signing people last month, and I don't think I've ever had a month I didn't really sign anybody, but I just feel like, okay, my business is not going to grow like I want it to be. And I want to go senior gold. And at first I thought, okay, I need 125 points to get there, but it feels overwhelming to me because I have not been able to develop silvers. So I broke it down to half of that goal, like you had messaged me. We were talking kind of back and forth. So I broke it down, and now if I sign 12 people, I'll have half of my goal. Okay. My normal month usually is about 6. It has been usually, but then I break it down. If I develop 2 silvers on top of that, then I'll have their points. And it just seems like if I do 3 a week, I'll have it.
Yeah.
Do you mean that? I'm just kind of broke it all down.
And that's a great
anyway,
thing to do too. Yes.
Breaking it down to a weekly goal.
Yes.
You have a big goal. You want to like break it down into pieces.
Yep.
That way it's not so overwhelming, because I looked at that number 12 and I'm like, oh, can't do it. Too much going on. We got convention. I've got my work. I've got my family. I've got, all this stuff. But then I thought, I broke it down. I'm like, 3 a week. I can do that. Right. And then I just had 4 people message me. I'm like, okay, so if these 4 people, and they will order, okay, when I get done with them, they're going to have, then I'm going to have, you take that away from it, and I'm going to have, so I don't know if you guys break it down that way or not, but I just thought that was helpful for me. The mindset thing is definitely a mind block for me.
Speaking of mindset, what would it take for you to show up to yourself the way you just did, with the confidence that you have, that you can sign these people, if you transfer that to developing silvers? See, because it's already in the bag to you. You have the confidence. I do that too with recruiting. I have the confidence all day long that if I get somebody on the phone, or if I can just get them in that DM, whatever, I can absolutely get them started on these products. There's just no doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
So there should be no doubt in your mind that you can develop a silver, because the belief needs to come before the action, which comes before the result, right? That's the tricky part.
Right. Okay. So while you were talking earlier and on the team call, these things stood out to me, because, you had said that, if I want to go for more and want more, it's selfish. Right. And then you said, no, but God wants me to have more, right? Because he wants us to share. He wants us to help serve others. Right. But he doesn't want us not to have our dreams and goals. Right. So I was thinking, you said, people are drowning in debt. People need our help. They staying awake at night.
Yeah.
They've got debt to pay. They've got gas that they need to pay for. They've got groceries that they can't afford, or they want to take a vacation and it's tight. All these things. And I haven't been posting about any of that.
Same.
So that is where I make at least one really good post a week. And then I broke it down. Like all of a sudden I had a light bulb go off. Don't let it overwhelm you. Make a goal of doing one reel a week. Okay. So what, you don't do a good job, at least you're showing up, right? Mm-hmm. So I've committed that I'm doing 1 reel a week. Don't know what it's going to look like. It may be a disaster. I don't care. It's going to be what it is.
Did you see that my little live in the team page? It was, I don't know, I think it was about 10 minutes long. And I shared about how I've been in posting paralysis mode lately. And I shared about live.
Yes, I did.
And I literally just made that Gatorade thing. I literally was going to the grocery store for the prescription for this stupid parasite round 2. And I literally passed the aisle that had all the Gatorade. And I was just thinking about hydrate and how it's so bad, and some stuff I've learned about great. And I was like, I literally just, as I was walking by, I just filmed me walking by it and picking it up off the shelf and putting it back down. I didn't know about timing. I didn't know anything I was doing. I didn't really have the content for the reel yet. And then I drove to go work at like Chick-fil-A or something.
And in the parking lot, I was back and forth, like, should I make this post? Should I make this post? I was overthinking it. And when should I do this one? And which one should I do first? It's been so long. Should I make a post about the 3 supplements?
Overthinkers.
It was so ridiculous, right? And then I was like, oh my gosh, who even cares? And the point is, it was like my first kind of post back in a while. And the thing went nuts. It has like hundreds of shares and comments. And I was like, why do we, all that matters is the action. Like this post might have 1 like, this post might have 10, this one might, who cares? Like literally, I just made a post. I was also overthinking it tonight a little bit. I had literally the other day, I was like, I need to start creating content. This is exactly what you're saying, to map out. I was like, a weakness of mine is I haven't been posting because I say I don't have the time. I was like, okay, well, I also need to realize that I'm just not in summer going to have this chunk of time every day to create new content. So I need to take 1 day a week that I plan some content for the week ahead, that I create the reels, I create the content. So the other day, I was like, Sean, I need a few hours. And before I even left to go work, I went in my bathroom and I literally, if you look at my drafts for my reels right now, there's literally like 3 sitting there that I made. We're talking 5-second reels, right? I didn't even put text on. I just saw a reel that I was like, oh, that audio would work well for a post about something like this. And I just filmed them super, super quick. And then literally I actually wrote one of the posts the other day. And sure enough, tonight I would not have again had time to make a post with the other things I had to do and my follow-ups and stuff. I literally had it already queued and ready to go. So I just hit post. Guys, this has only 3,000 views, which for me is a very low performing reel. It only has about 50 likes right now, 0 comments. So by all intents and I remember refreshing my screen when I posted it, and like 7-8 minutes later, there wasn't even a like. And I was like, uh-oh. I even had that moment where I'm like, should I take it down? Should I repost it later? Like we all kind of do this sometimes, right? But guess what? I just opened my phone for the first time and I have 1 girl who messaged me, okay, my life has been crazy since April, graduation, sports, playoffs, parties. I'm finished and I am ready to focus on myself. Sadly, that doesn't happen often. My PA on my lab draw increased, my thyroid medicine to 90 milligrams. I feel horrible. I'm bloated. I've gained weight. I'm tired all the time. I'm not sleeping. I'm unmotivated. I'm frustrated. And I just watched your video and I felt like you were describing me to a T. I'm ready. Guys, even if there's 1 person says they're ready, it's worth it, right? But then I opened up my message requests. I've got 8 message requests, and right now 4 of them say, and they all came in the last hour or 2. If you can see it, it literally says, hi, I'd like more information on supplements, right?
Now so that's on Instagram, right?
Instagram. We just have to stop overthinking, just action. And I love what you said. It's too big of a goal. If you just are like, oh, I have the end of the month to sign 10 people. But if you're like, okay, that's 3 people a week or 2 people, 2.5 people a week. That's what I did last month. I was tracking and I knew that I was halfway to my goal, halfway through the month. And that's a good feeling. It's an empowering feeling. Yeah. You're doing it. You're doing great.
Well, I was just thinking about it, and as you were talking, all these things were coming in my mind, and I'm like, okay, I didn't do this. I'm not doing this. Why am I overthinking it? Why am I letting the enemy get in my head? And we're all guilty of that, when there's always like so much going on, and then, like I said earlier, and I don't remember what I said exactly, that I want to be diamond. However, where was it?
You want to be diamond what? Oh, that
post I said, I don't remember where it is now. Here it is. I feel like, how is it possible that I can actually achieve these big dreams? I want to be a diamond one day. I need a breakthrough mindset, right?
Yeah.
So, I guess that altogether, it's just the self-confidence. And then when you also said something about, doing your mind work, if it's like getting a counselor or, doing something, if it's watching the videos or reading a book or whatever, I'm going to have to dig into it. I think that where my mindset really is a block is the bad abusive marriage I was in for so long. Yeah. And I just feel like I have it at my grasp, but then I let go of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just the work I'm going to have to do on myself. So anyway, I don't mind sharing it. So
no, but and I've just talked about how like my mom, the stuff with cancer, it's been really affecting my, like, I know Katie, we talked at, where were we? Kentucky? Was it? No, was it Nashville? Nashville. About some of the cancer.
Yeah, we were in Nashville.
And it makes so much sense, guys. Like, we're people, we've been through hurts, we have scars, we've all been disappointed, we've all had things happen to us. And also, is anyone surprised that we are the last 3 on this call? Again.
No,
not at all.
It's the Three Stooges that always room together too.
Here we are again.
The
Yeah.
Three Musketeers.
But, and I think the three of us have a lot of mindset stuff, but we also have like really big hearts. And like, seriously, you guys are the two people on this team. Like, I don't doubt, like, hold on. Let me stop recording here.